Welcome to Let's Play Rule the Waves 2 as France, starting in 1920, episode number 25. And here we are, 22 months into a war with the United States and their new friends, Italy, with our stalwart allies, Germany. It's the end of July, so let's quickly see what August brings. A convoy defense in Africa. I don't believe I've got any forces yet. I've got 14 planes in Africa, so I'll decline that. Our new fabulous battle cruiser, effectively fast battleship, let's not split hairs, is finished working up. That's amazing. Let's see where she is. I think she's in Northern Europe, so she'll need to deploy to the Mediterranean. Dive bombers. Okay. Okay, a new fighter variant. A new fighter. So, speed comparable, cruising, range. Hello. Well, this is going to be an easy yes. Look at that huge hike in range. That's magnificent. Okay, significantly less maneuverable. Not as tough. Can carry a bomb load out to 130 miles. You know, that can come in handy sometimes. So we don't know what the reliability is. The previous one was good. But yeah, that range alone is it. Well done, flying boats. 55 VPs from their attacks on our shipping. Nothing particularly interesting there. Right. That's August done. That was quick. Another convoy attack, again to the southeast of Malta. So let's see if this... Oh, and the Italians declined. Yeah, enemy raid on our coastal installations. Okay, if you feel up to it, chaps. And they declined. Well, I mean, this is all good fun. A battleship engagement. Oh. Yes, yes. Here we go. Right. Well, we have a lot of forces. Let's see what the order of battle says. So we have 3 battleships, a couple of destroyers, a couple of cruisers, more destroyers, more battleships, fast ones, destroyers, coastal forces. Then we have our scouts, a couple of heavy cruisers, destroyers, light cruisers, and then our carrier force. So our 2 fleet carriers, good to see, escorts, light cruisers, 2 including our slow light carriers, and finally some more, plus stuff. Okay, well, this will be interesting if we have daylight, and 4 hours and 15 minutes. It's a bit tight. I mean, in 4 hours, you know, an hour to find and close, maybe not get a result. Let's see. So this is our battle fleet. This is our carrier force, and this is our slightly oddly placed scouting force with the heavy cruisers. If we zoom out, just to the south of Minorca, Holiday Island, and out in the central Mediterranean, right away from stuff. Obviously, these are our air bases, these are ours, these are theirs, and then all of these are ours. So we should have the preponderance of air. Let's advance this a little bit and see where we get to. Of course, well, always forget to set the air. Yes, yes. Let's do this thing. It's funny that it's, perhaps I've got it selected. I don't think actually the main force has, yes, what we want. Let's zoom out a little bit. So we don't want 300 miles for the pretty good reason that I can't see that far, I can't fly that fast. And let's just think where the Italians might be coming from. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5 search zones. Okay, that seems. Ask them to do that well. Although 1, 2, 3, they may have already done it. Mind. They are like cruisers. One of the trouble with these big fleet actions is you actually have to have situational awareness over quite a large amount of the ocean. Into automatic. See. So it has given us control of the fleets very much. So, well, where do I want to be depends on where they are. And indeed, what they're trying to do. There's no objectives in this. It did say that it was them trying to attack our installations, but I don't know where. Here are some reports. The one thing you can, there we go. There's a report there of carriers and light cruisers. There. That all seems pretty safe bet that they are just off the northwest corner of Sardinia. And we're going that way. So let's carry on going that way. Just broaden this. Oh, so we've had a strike launch from Toulon. Nice. I always find these reports quite hard to read, so I'm just going to pause and work them out. I think I've worked it out. So we've had airstrikes launched from Toulon, from Saint-Florent, and from Bonifacio. A bit optimistic for Toulon, but if Saint-Florent and Bonifacio are going the right way, that could be interesting. We are about 160 nautical miles away, so just within our own strike range. So I'm just going to prepare a strike in anticipation of getting a proper sighting. I should say that our most recent sighting was at 2:26 and it's now 3:38, so just over an hour ago. Actually, I'm just trying to sort out this strike mission, and I realized that I've forgotten out what our ranges are, and I was wondering how on earth do I look at our own aircraft performance, and I've noticed this button that I've never used before, aircraft data. So that will give us some all-important information. For example, our fighters cannot carry any kind of bomb, which is unfortunate, and they have a range of 160, so we can send them out in escort, given that the reports are that they are carriers amongst the Italian fleet, and the game likes to even things up. Sending fighters in coordination with the torpedo bombers and dive bombers is probably a good thing. The dive bomber range at heavy is 160, and obviously the torpedo range is at heavy is 160. So we're going to launch a 160 mile strike. Another thing that I've never done is actually look at this target field where it brings up a choice. Now it has all sorts of fixed installations which we're not interested in, but it has these various sighting reports. So we could, for example, pick this one from 230. That would be just a little bit too far, so I'm actually going to give it a location a little bit closer in, say here, which is 157. That's fine. My expectation is that they're coming down towards us and we're going up towards them, so the strike should see the enemy before that time. Estimated time on target is 6:48. Given it's the Mediterranean, that might well be in dusk, if not night time. Although this is the summer, so we might get lucky, and then they'll land back at nearly 9 o'clock, so there'll probably be a few accidents then. So I'm going to ready that strike, and then on the other carrier, so that was on the Joffre, and on the Panleve, something similar. And I think I'll go for dive bombers. I'm going to set them to heavy. Those to heavy, well, just in case. And again, ready that strike as well. So that will keep the carriers busy. Oh, hang on. I have more carriers. I have a wealth of carriers. So let's just go back. Because, of course, that was the Carrier Division 12, but we have Carrier Division 15, which is our lovely light carriers. So that's same target. Just do nice and simple. Ready all that. Now, if I do all of them, it's going to be significantly later. If I take off the fighters, it's still going to be a bit later. I could lessen the numbers and try and halve it. Halve it. Did that really change the time very much? Not really seeing that it did change the time. The time on target for both is still 7:17. Whether how many are involved. So okay, let's ready those strikes. Exit. Now, we could be witnessing the first ever big carrier strike, and the losses may occur before the fleets even meet. Be interesting. Press on. Better sightings. Still no sightings. You see, this is illogical because here's 2:26, but here's 2:53, and here's 3 o'clock, which puts them in a very different position. By the way, that's 7 battleships. Okay. I'm going to take the cruiser force and I'm going to crank them up, well, maybe not to 20, but to 24. See if they can't actually get ahead. Hello! So these must be from one of our air bases. Well done. See if they can finish. Wow! Hey! Great news. Again. Fighters. Oh, sorry, torpedo bombers. Just go to the log. A lot happened there. All right, so just recons landing. Thank you very much. We're not really that interested in that. Just that one. There's dusk. Already. 20 minutes. And it's only 6:20. So hopefully that's the kind of time when our strikes should have been going in. and nighttime. Okay, so we'll keep heading on this course because I want to see. Actually, I don't want to see. So it seems that I have an embarrassment of options based on almost no intelligence whatsoever. I could just get the guys to go up to Toulon, and if anything comes along, we'll see, but at least the scouting force will shield the battle fleet, which will shield the carrier force. Just as equally, we could turn back to Algiers, to Azal-Kabir. We could form a patrol line this way, but maybe not with the carriers. Although obviously I'm going to lose control of the carrier force pretty quickly unless I close up with the battle force. Ditto actually the scouting force, and just meander and see what happens. Obviously the enemy is somewhere in that position, maybe, and is presumably heading in that direction, or was, but whether it still is, who knows. It's yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to do what I always do with tough decisions. I'm going to make a cup of coffee and have a little think. Okay, got the brain juice and I've made a decision. I suspect that the Italians will probably turn back and head towards port, but I will take the middle course and hang around. I'll use my cruisers and battle fleet to go backwards and forwards. I will try and bring my carriers to the south so that they don't bump into anything unexpected and ugly. That's the plan. So first of all, bring the carriers, bring them to 20 and head them down there. Work on battle fleet, take them to the east. And ditto cruisers. I'm going to just slow the cruisers down a little bit. So the cruisers are doing 14, the battle fleet is doing 16, and the carriers are doing 20, just to bring them slowly all together. See, the carriers are going to the south, just like I planned. Seems far enough to the south, so now I'll straighten them out. Probably time to turn around. I mean, I fully recognize this may all be very pointless, given that the enemy may have turned tail. It's just here, battle fleet to turn around. Well, we'll bring the carriers to 16. Okay, this will probably create much shuffling. And we will wait. The length of the battle is 900, so what's the time? Time's 1 in the morning. It would be lovely if we could be in a position for dawn, but dawn I think is going to be too far. Okay. Hold that for a moment. Let's take the cruisers back up to the north, sail equally, so that we are in position in daytime to launch a strike if we ever find any. If anybody is there to be found. Wow. So it's 4:20, 4:30 in the morning, and time for Jeanne d'Arc and the others to launch. Let's turn this around. Oops. Around the correct way. So we're not interested. Hitting 6. There we go. Bring the range down. 1, 2, 3, 4. If there's nothing there, then that's fine. Dark will go ahead and set them going again. Yes, obviously it's lost. There'll be words with his captain when he gets to port, I'm sure. For instance, planes zooming off. Any reports? No. Okay, we ran out of time. Shame. Well, I say shame. It's a teeny tiny little victory for us because we damaged, I say we, the ground-placed airplanes damaged a heavy cruiser. Let's look at the fleet tracks. Where the devil were they? Ah. So, isn't that annoying? Isn't that annoying? So, by 10 o'clock, they were ready to the south of us. So at 9 o'clock, we were here, they were there. I mean, that's pretty close, actually. That's pretty close. Bugger. That would have been very interesting. I'm sorry about that. Did my best on the intelligence available. I just didn't expect them to come down quite so close to Sardinia. Wow, that was close. So let's leave. Take a few VPs. Blockade is causing food shortages and privations in the USA. Well, that's not me. That's those wonderful Germans. Recent improvements in productivity. Well, who doesn't love? Who doesn't love? Improvement in productivity is offering safe passage for a revolutionary USA. Oh, wouldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be a thing? Should be careful about because embers of revolution may backfire. We've got an unrest level of 1, so I'm okay with that. And they're a long way away. Let's give them safe passage. Wouldn't that be extraordinary? Fleet tactics, effective smoke generators. You know, I'm rubbish at smoke. I always in the fog of battle, ironically, in the excitement of battle, I so often forget to do smoke. And flying boats take a submarine out. Hit a mine. Oh well, never mind. A little bit of nonsense there. Yeah, 119. Let's take a look at that. Well, before we do that, let us take our wonderful democracy and move it from Northern Europe to the Mediterranean. Actually, I just want to show you this. There's a shortcut where if you just press M, this pops up and you just do that. And it's so much easier than doing all of this right-clicking, hitting move, choosing the etc, etc, etc. So that's my top tip shortcut. M, the little dialog box up, it refuses to move, which is why I often don't use it when I'm recording, but when I'm playing just on my own, I use it all the time. Let's have a little look at the map. Let's turn it to bar charts. And as you can see, the Americans still have quite a force in, well, 50 in the Caribbean. Germans have 12. the Americans have 5. And even just with 2 heavy cruisers, they're getting a blockade result. That's wonderful. In Northern Europe, we have 106 points. The Germans have 254 points. The Italians have 7, and the Americans have 170. So with German help, we're certainly containing the Germans. Oops, what? And in the Mediterranean, we have 195. The Germans have 22. The Italians have 202. And the Americans have nothing. So very even in the Mediterranean, despite which the Italians keep on declining battles. I don't know why. So, 24 months into the war, I'm going to pull it to a close here and see what October brings in the next episode. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. I certainly have, despite the aborted battle. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.